Well.
Welcome to the podcast where we talk about anything and everything that comes out of the crapshoot. I'm your host, JD. This is my co-host,
It's massive in there.
James. I call him James. Everyone else calls him Jimmy. It just works like that. A lot of things I had this week, James.
Kinda.
I found a place. No, but
It's massive in there.
it's massive in there.
There's this guy on TikTok who has been just posting nonstop videos of like POV. You're talking to a guy in like who's trying to sell you furniture, and the guy goes like, "Hey, yeah, so I was wondering how much this couch costed. It's massive in there." Goes on and on like a maze.
POV, Kane Parsons is 20 years old. So there's
21 actually, JD. You're wrong. He turned 21 finally.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's right, everybody. He can now drink.
He can now drink and gamble. Have Kane Parsons come over to my workplace, huh? Maybe I'll toss him a couple cards or something.
Toss a coin to the Kane Parsons.
Yeah. Send him a drink his way, a big drink. For the good old Kane EP.
Good old Kane EP.
Anyway, James, I stumbled across something pretty interesting. It was an interesting story, James, because
would one say it's massive in there?
I would say that it's massive out here because
What?
Because it starts, well, you know a little company called Lego, James? You know what they do?
I know Mega Bloks. I don't know Lego.
I don't know what Mega Bloks is, but it probably copied Legos. So
I know Creo, but I don't know Lego.
Yeah, they probably like any of these like weird brick building companies you've just listed, they probably just all copied Lego because Lego is the biggest brick building toy, I guess. I guess it would be considered a toy.
It's called the brick building system.
I don't know if you heard of this situation happening, James.
Probably. Oh yeah.
But Reckless Ben versus Bricks and Minifigs.
Yeah.
At first, when it started happening, I wasn't super interested in it because I was like, Legos. I don't do Legos, so
exactly my exact thoughts. I was like, I really don't care. You know,
Legos are for babies. But it turned into so much more than Legos, James.
It turned into, if y'all remember, and we talked about it, the fucking the Magic the Gathering Pinkerton situation. It's happened again.
Modern day Pinkerton. Pinkerton too. Yeah, so what started as this like a case of the Bricks and Minifigs is like I think it's like a private company that just buys and sells Legos and other. Yeah. I don't know if it's only Legos. One of them
here. We got one of them here.
I've never even heard of them before this situation. I guess they buy and sell Legos. Probably some other brick building stuff, or is it only Legos?
I think they deal in only Legos.
Okay, so probably only Legos then. But apparently one of their stores did a like consignment deal with this family, this man and his son, and this man had collected a ton of Star Wars Legos that was worth like a decent amount. I know a 200K is,
I think.
No, 200K is the number thrown out there in the video at least. But I think it was valued somewhere, it's probably somewhere less than that. But it's still like a decent amount. Still, it's definitely more than like 50K, I think. But so this Bricks and Minifigs store, the local store, did this consignment deal. And what it is basically the man agrees to give up his possession of the Legos to the store so that they can sell it for him. But he still owns the Legos. So it's like the store doesn't buy all of his Legos off of him right then and there for some reason. And then they just slowly sell off the stock while they hold it in the store, and they give him like a cut of each sale. So that's what this deal was. And you know, on its own, I was like, that doesn't sound super interesting. It does pick up because apparently the Bricks and Minifigs is like a franchise company, kind of like McDonald's, where you can franchise you can use like the brand as for your store that you open, but you own like the store. There's like each store is like their own manager and stuff. and so it's not owned by like corporate Briggs and
Mhm.
Minifigs. So the previous owners of the this particular Bricks and Minifigs franchise that did the consignment deal, I think they did something, or like they were behind on payments is probably what I think what I heard, and so the corporate Bricks and Minifigs kicked them out of that franchise and had some other people like take it over. And when they took it over, I guess they just did it really sloppily because they ignored the consignment deal. I don't know exactly what's true because there are a couple different theories thrown out there. Like the store owners were not supposed to do any consignment deals, but then I saw on like the previous terms of service from like Bricks and Minifigs corporate that they could do consignment deals. Either way, the new owners, the ownership changed of that store, and so the owner of the Lego set of the owner of the Lego sets went over there and was like, "Hey, can I have my Legos back then? Because you know the deal's like you said the deal's off, so I want my Legos back." And the new owners were like, "No, you can't have them back." In my mind, I was thinking they were thinking like, "Oh, like these guys lying to me, I guess." And so they just refused to take anything from them to try like showing them like the contracts and the proof that that he owned these Legos, and they just like denied it. So they called the cops on him, had him like trespassed and everything. And then Reckless Ben, this YouTuber, he's a pretty big YouTuber. I never heard of him until now. Um, he like found out about this story and he decided to do some crazy stuff to this store
Yeah,
to try and get these Legos back.
this dude was on a fucking
Like
on a mission.
he was doing everything except maybe was like the most optimal way to do it. But it was definitely funny content. So like he like he just starts with walking into the store and like trying to just talk to them to give it back, and he immediately gets the cops call on him and trespassed. Like the new owners of this store are like they're like on edge the entire time. I don't know if like something happened off camera to get them to be this way.
Maybe you just don't understand how serious
Because,
this is.
well, first of all, I was thinking in my head like, you know, if I owned the store and so it was like, oh, I own some stuff in your store, I did a consignment deal and stuff. Like the first thought in my mind isn't I'm gonna call the cops on you, get the hell out of my store. You know, I'd be like, yeah, you know, maybe let me take a look at it and stuff. But they just don't. They just immediately deny everything. So they tell him to get out. They trespass him, and it just gets crazier from here. So after he gets trespassed, I think he starts sending in some of like his friends. He has like a friend group that he traveled with. And so he's sending in like his friends, like under the cover of like different things. Like he sends his friend in as like a fake YouTuber, Lego YouTuber, and he tries brainwashing one of the employees in the store into like a Lego cult. Nope, that literally happened. They brainwashed this Lego employee who has nothing to do with it, by the way. A random employee into a Lego cult. Into a Lego cult so they could get her to like I guess like snitch on the owners that the Lego set is still there, which I think at this point, I don't know if they actually know if the Lego set is still in the store or if they like already sold it or if they moved it or they did something with it. I think they think that the Lego set's still in the store. So, yeah, Reckless Ben, he does all this stuff. And man, he's like bothering the hell out of the owners of this store. I think he does he creates like a raffle, a legitimate lottery raffle in front of the store to like auction off some of the Lego sets that the man owns. And they do it because he technically owns the Lego set, but the store has possession of it. So like they give out the winner of the lottery, like, oh, you won this particular Lego set, let's go get it, it's in the stores.
Right, I was gonna say I can imagine that they're about to just send this guy in there to go get it.
Yes, and it's so funny because like this this like completely random family, like these like couple kids, like maybe like 8, 9 years old. They win this raffle for this Lego set. And they're like, and then Reckless Ben's like, all right, let's go get your Lego set. It's right over there in the store. And so they walk in with this family into the store. And of course, they don't get the Lego set, right? Um,
What?
what's
You're
funny
telling
is
me that plan didn't work?
it didn't work. None of these plans work. By the way, he does like
What? You're telling me
he
none of these
throws out
elaborate
all these
ruses?
plans. None of them work.
You're
Uh,
telling me brainwashing the lady to be into a Lego
yeah,
cult didn't win it?
I did see some people saying like, oh, maybe he should have just got like a restraining order on the store or something to hold the Legos or something. I don't know how exactly that works. There's
I don't
some
think that's how
legal
a restraining order works.
there's some legal order thing you can do that like stops the store from selling your Legos, like possession of your Legos or something.
Right.
But I don't think they immediately go like the legal route. They eventually do though, and so what happens is the way they do it is super weird too. So they what they do is they buy the Lego sets off of the man, like Reckless Ben and his friend group buy the Lego sets off of uh the guy who owns the Legos. So they each and they have to like pull out a loan from the bank to do this. So they all loan money from the
Jesus.
bank. And then they give the money to the man who owns the Legos. And then the man who owns Legos is like, okay, yeah, you can buy this Lego set off of me. And meanwhile, the store is the one that has possession of all these Legos, right? So now the ownership of the Legos transfers to like Ben and his group, and
That's pretty funny.
then each of them sue like the store in like small claims court or something for the Lego sets.
That's pretty funny.
It's like some like
That's pretty
10K
good.
worth. It's like some like crazy like complicated process they do to like sue this store.
I just as a quick pause, I think
Yeah.
Reckless Ben might also be the guy that infiltrated that cult that was running a like restaurant and
I
like
think
got
Reckless
all of his
Ben is a
friends
dude
hired.
who like infiltrates cults. I think that was
Yeah,
like
I
his
was gonna
previous
say
YouTube videos.
because like it's like all coming back to it, but I remember he like infiltrates a cult that runs a restaurant, and then he gets all of his friends hired as members of the restaurant. And the thing is, at the restaurant, it's like a majority of vote is what we do. And
Mm-hmm.
so after he gets a majority of his friends hired, he goes, "Hey guys, I think we should own this restaurant. Raise your hand if you agree." And all of his friends agree, outnumbering everybody else. And he's like, "It's ours now." And then the cops get called. And he's like, "This is their rules.
We're just playing by their rules.
I'm playing the
A
game you
hostile
made.
takeover of the restaurant.
This is a game you made."
Yeah, so they devise this plan to sue the store. And meanwhile, while this whole thing is happening, I think Reckless Ben does have contact with the owner of this store, the new owner. And his
Yep.
name is oh crap, I forgot his name. I think it
Arnold.
was like uh it was some like normal sounding name, like Steve or Frank or something like
Yeah,
Josh. It was
Arnold.
Joshua. Joshua Johnson. I actually think that's what his name
Joshua
is.
Johnson.
I think his
I
name's
got
actually Josh Johnson or something.
there's no way this guy's name is Josh Johnson.
I'll just call him Josh because I think I know for sure his first name is Josh, the new owner of the store. So he's on call with Josh like quite a few times in his video
Holy
where he's
shit.
like trying to convince Josh that they own the Lego set and he should give him the money. But the way he says it is nobody would really believe him because the way Reckless Ben like says it, okay. So the first time he walks into the store, he says to like the manager behind the counter, which I think is like Josh hired this manager, I think. And it's a lady, and he goes like, "Hey, my friend owns some Lego sets in your store. Can I have them back?" And that's what he says to her, and she immediately says, "No, leave the store." And when he's on call with Josh, he's like, I think he visits like the corporate office for Bricks and Minifigs, and he talks to the CEO of Bricks and Minifigs, and the CEO of Bricks and Minifigs, like he looks comically evil. I don't know what possessed him to have like he has the twirly mustache. You know what I'm saying? Or like the
Yeah, I've
mustache
seen
that
the
like
picture. I've
it
seen the
thins
picture
out
of
at the
him like
ends.
staring at the camera from like the side of his eyes with
Yeah, it's
his
kind of
head
like a
held down.
handlebar mustache and it thins out at the ends. So he's got
Yeah,
like that
like
evil mustache thing going on.
literal like old school like fucking Steam era like fucking
Yeah,
super villain.
cartoon.
This man has this man has tied up a woman and put her on a tracks as a train is coming.
Yeah, he rubs his hands together, laughs evilly. But that's what this guy looks like. And then he goes and talks to this
And his
guy and he's
voice
like,
like Skeletor.
and he also says that he's like, yeah, so my friend owns some Lego sets in your store. And the CEO immediately goes, no, he doesn't.
I
No, he doesn't. And then Reckless Man goes, he doesn't? And like he hits him with like the rage bait question, like he doesn't?
he doesn't?
He doesn't? And then the CEO goes, nope, that never happened. And then,
Now, are those not the Lego sets right behind you? No.
well,
They're not.
actually, I don't know if they caught on video the Lego sets, but they did take pictures of the Lego sets that are in the store. Apparently, they put on like these like yellow stickers onto Lego sets that the man owns, and I forgot the man's name. His name was like Brian, I think. So Brian is the one who owns the Legos,
By the way,
and so
you were
they,
right. It is Joshua Johnson. That's
yeah,
insane.
yeah, that's his name. I was
Fucking
forgetting it because it was so
cartoony ass name with a
because it's
cartoony
literally
ass
like
fucking
it's like
villain.
default Steve name, so I was having trouble remembering it. So I think they do have proof that his like Lego sets were in the store at the time they have his Lego sets. And so they like try to like convince these Bricks and Minifigs by handing them stuff and they just say no. They just completely deny it. And so they sue the Bricks and Minifigs store. I don't know if they sue the store itself or they sue Joshua Johnson. I think they sue the store. And then they win it in small claims court because I think they just didn't, the Bricks and Minifix store just didn't show up to court. So they win the small claims court case for like some amount of money. I don't remember how much it was. And when they're after they won it, they were gonna go to the store and like, show them that they won the court case and they have to give them money and stuff. But then Bricks and Minifigs pulls a big brain move and closes the store down, so they can't get paid from the store because it's no longer open. It's closed permanently, and I think that's where like part one ends for Reckless Ben. He made like 3 parts for this Lego Bricks and Minifigs saga.
Right. He was in the middle of making like part 4 or something when the event happened.
He finished part 3, and then I think he said he couldn't release it because he's in a lawsuit right now. He's currently in a lawsuit right now. But man, part 2 is when it gets like really crazy. So part 1 was like only based around like the store, and like the new owners were like being jackasses, saying like, "Oh, I don't know anything about this consignment deal and stuff." And they technically won because they kept the Legos and the money they made from the Legos if they sold them, and then they didn't give anything to Brian or Reckless Ben. And in part 2, Reckless Ben and his friend group, they go after Joshua Johnson in real life.
Right.
And he lives in like Utah. So they this breaks in all this brick and minifig situation with the store, the local store, happens in like Oregon. And so they go to Joshua Johnson in Utah to like personally try and sue him and stuff.
They like,
And I don't
is
know
this when they showed up with cops?
Yeah, this is when the cops get involved, the Utah cops. I think
The
they're
cops swat him.
the American
Fucking
Fork
get him in
Police Department.
handcuffs. In
Yeah,
handcuffs, dude.
it gets like pretty crazy. So,
Yeah.
I get what you're saying,
Legos.
James. I get what you're saying, James,
Legos.
now when you say you don't trust the cops anymore because of what happens in part 2.
JD, I just gotta ask, you think Noah would have done it?
I think he would have gone along with it, yeah. I think
Noah
he would have.
pulling a gun against fucking Ben.
I think if all the Noah's boys, if all the Noah's boys on the force were like, "Hey, we got to get this motherfucker," Noah would be like, "Yeah, I'm in." Any excuse to pull out the gun,
It's
to
that
rock and
scene from
roll.
the fucking To Catch a Predator trailer where it's the
Mhm.
guy it's the cop loading a Desert Eagle. Let's get this
Let's get this
motherfucker.
motherfucker. No, so what happens is since they closed down the store in Oregon, Reckless Ben were like, you know what? I really need. I'm gonna get these Lego sets back, no matter what. So I'm going after Joshua Johnson. And then they drive up and they like drive up to him in his neighborhood, like at his house, and they immediately get the cops called on him by Joshua Johnson. And man, these cops are like they're like sus. I'm not gonna lie. It's at first it's like oh maybe Reckless Ben could have framed it so that like cut the videos so that it seems like these cops are like on them for like no apparent reason. But then the American Fork Police Department accidentally leaked all of their unredacted body cam
Right.
footage.
I've
Which, by
seen
the way, their redacted body cam footage was
this.
also sus because they like redacted a bunch of audio that doesn't make sense to redact within their rules. So anyway, the way they first stop Ben is Ben is driving with his friend, and his friend is the one driving. And he stops at a stop sign, and then he makes a right, and then the police stop him and be like, you know, you didn't stop at the stop sign, right? Um, except that they did. They did like a
Mhm.
full stop for like 2 whole seconds, and then went on. So the police, I guess, the only thing they wanted to do was just stop them for whatever reason, and they immediately like go, yeah, and who's that in the back? Are you Ben? And then they just completely ignore the driver now.
So suspicious.
It's really suspicious. So and Reckless Ben,
Really
I can't
sounds
tell if he's doing it on purpose. I think he is, where he just tells the cops like everything. And from everything that I've watched and know online, is that you're not supposed to tell the cops like anything.
no, dude, no. That shit
If
goes
you
so
are free
wrong
to
when you
go,
do.
if you are not under arrest and you're free to go, you need to go. Is my is what the advice from every single source that I know. And I don't know if Reckless Ben lives under a rock or something, even though he's like a big YouTuber and stuff. But he just like he's a yapper. He just yaps everything to the police.
It's white boy's first experience with a cop.
Exactly. Um, but yeah, these cops they stop them for and question them, and I think they do let him go first. But he gets the cops called on him like I don't know how many times, like 10 times in part
That's
two.
insane.
It's like over and over again. So the first trip to Joshua Johnson's house ends in failure because what they did is they sued, or Reckless Ben sued Joshua Johnson. But before I think he has to serve him papers, he has to like, or I guess before he can sue him, he has to engage in like a good faith conversation with Joshua Johnson. And so he drives to his house, and that's why he drives to his house to talk to him. And he gets the cops call on him. And I think at that point, if you just showed the court that, they would probably be like, "Yeah, you made a good faith effort. You can keep going." Um, but I think they visit his house like a couple more times with like some like pranking him.
Some
Like his
trumped up
friend.
charges and stuff.
So his friend comes in to like pretends to be a UPS driver and shows up at Joshua Johnson's doorstep and gives him a fake package with like a fake contract that he has to sign. And one of Reckless Ben's things that he likes to do is he likes to make these like fake contracts where it's like, and he tries to get people the guy he's like hopping with to sign it. And it says something
Hmm.
like, "You can't trespass me for the next 5 years" or something. Like that's what it says on the contract.
Of course.
It's complete bogus. I think
Right.
I
It
think
will
it's
not stand
it's
up in a
just for
court,
the
but
prank.
it's gonna get whatever idiot that thinks it's
Yeah.
real thinking it's real.
Yeah.
They're gonna panic.
Yeah, but what they're doing is they're getting into Joshua Johnson's head, right? That's the strategy is to is to make him paranoid as hell. So yeah, his friend comes in with the fake package. I think Joshua Johnson calls the police on this package, or he's like tells the police like, "Hey, I just got a sus package in the mail." Some like
It's
teenager
an
who's
empty
pretending to
box.
be UPS came over.
Yeah, it's just an empty box.
It was a box full of rubber ducks.
That's hilarious.
They gave him a box full of rubber ducks.
Should have been just a
Yeah.
box full of just random Legos.
Yeah, so then I think Ben does get like the court papers produced, so he prints out the papers and he has to go serve Joshua Johnson. And
Should
so
serve.
yeah, I think the right way to do it is that you don't serve them in like personally, like you don't do it. You give it to like a process server and then they do it. I think you have to pay like a
And
fee
also, the
or something.
processor has to hand it to them, and they have to accept it. They can't just. And this happens a lot. Processors get like cocky. They'll just throw it at the person, or they'll just kind of chuck it so that the person has to grab it. No, you have to hand it off, and they have
From
to
what I
accept
know,
it.
you can literally go up to them, and if they see the papers, you can say you're served, and then they don't have to like they don't have to grab the
No,
papers. You can like drop
they
it
have to
at their feet,
they
and
have
they
to
put it
have the
through.
papers in their hands. You can't drop it
I
at their
mean,
feet.
that's just what I heard from like I watched like a lawyer react to it, and that's what he said. So I'll
I
trust the lawyer on that one.
well, I'm sure it's
He said it.
was it legal?
No, some other like
Then
smaller
I don't want
lawyer
to
thing.
hear it.
Yeah, but as far as I know, they don't even have to like accept the papers themselves. You could drop it at their feet and be like, "You're served," and then the processors will leave. They'll fill out like a paper form saying that they served them, and then if they don't show up to court, then and that's on
You do have
that's
to
on them.
confirm it is the person though. You can't just be like, yeah, like you're here anyways. Like, oh, you're a
Yeah,
family member. Here you go.
makes sense. Yeah, where'd you hear this from, James? Your influencer pretending to be a lawyer, or like,
Experience.
yeah, okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought, James. I bet you're just like my father was like, yeah, these you got to put a metal sheet on your computer because it'll give you radiation. It'll give
No,
radiation
because
poisoning. And
that's
I'm like,
stupid.
what? Why? That doesn't make any sense. And he's
Because
like,
that's
well,
dumb and
it's
ridiculous.
because my friend he was working with electronic parts with his hands for many years, and then he got cancer in his hands. And I was like, that's okay. I mean, it makes from
That's
experience
flawless
then.
logic.
From experience, James. My experience is above all because I'm the main character. Am I right, James?
I'm the main
Yeah,
character.
that's right.
You have to like me.
That's what you sound like. That's you.
That's what you sound like. But he hasn't heard my voice in 2 weeks, and he's going, "That's what I sound like."
Yeah, that's what
Okay,
you sound like.
okay. 2 weeks haven't
No,
heard
so
me.
what happens is Reckless Ben, he has to serve these papers, but instead of doing the process server thing, or he does get a process server, but he goes with the process server to his house because he
Okay.
wants to record for the video, right? So
Okay.
so he shows up with the process server and
God,
Joshua.
I wonder how that's gonna
Yeah, and
go.
it goes exactly where you think it is. Joshua Johnson sees him coming from a mile away. He calls the cops on them, and so the police like stop Ben and the
Why
process
why
server,
didn't why
and
didn't he just give the process server a pair of like fucking
because
meta
because
glasses or something?
because it's not content, James.
It
It's
would.
not content.
Yeah, you're
Serving him
right.
normally and not being there to film it, like why even serve, you know? So
Why even live the
the
serve?
police stop them, they question him. They see that like nothing's really wrong. Actually, before this, when he goes to serve with the process server, he's not only there, but he also plants a sign in like on this like public strip of like grass that's like across the street from Joshua Johnson's house. And it's a sign that says like I steal from old people, and it's like an AI image of Joshua Johnson holding like bunches of cash and an AI old person on like a hospital bed dying.
That's pretty funny.
So he puts this poster in the spot across from his house. Um, and so the police show up. They block this poster, and then they question Ben. And they're like, all right, they leave him alone for a little bit, and then the cops they come back again and they question him some more, and then they leave again, and then they come back. I think they do come back like 4 times. The first 3 times they're like questioning if these like court papers are real and stuff, and that's because on Reckless Ben's video we don't get to see like Joshua Johnson's side because Joshua Johnson's like
Hmm.
outside his house talking to the police officers also during this moment. And I think in the unredacted body cam footage, he's telling the police like Reckless Ben is just like this YouTuber who's harassing him, and the court papers are fake, and the process server is fake. And then he calls like the CEO on his phone, and the CEO is telling the police, like, "Hey, you need to arrest these guys, like stalking and stuff." Um, so all of this is happening, and the police are like, I guess they just side with Joshua Johnson here, because I guess they don't know who Reckless Ben is. So they go talk to Reckless Ben a few times. They grab like the court papers. One of them like confirms that the court papers are real. And then the crazy thing is like I think the police can serve papers on behalf of someone, and then they're the ones who have to fill out the form saying that they serve it. And this police officer just doesn't do it. Like he goes up to Joshua Johnson. He goes like, "Yeah, these court papers are real and stuff," and then doesn't serve them. And instead goes back to Ben and goes like, "Yeah, he doesn't want these papers," which is like a horrendous thing to say because you can't deny court papers. I think you can't deny like being served. Hitting the court papers with a no you.
I mean, so, that's just tactical.
It's a strategy. It works.
That's
apparently
bold strategy, Colin. Let's see if it pays off.
It did. It did pay off because he didn't get served that day. He eventually did get served, but not that day.
You may not get served today. You may not get served tomorrow. One day.
And then this whole time, it looks super sus because Joshua Johnson and the CEO are like demanding that the police like arrest Ben and the fake process server. I think she was a real process server because it doesn't take a lot to be a process server. So
yeah, it's like becoming an internet pastor.
Yeah, they're like demanding the police do something, and the police are just like going along with it. They're like, "Yeah, sure, yeah, we'll try to find like something to get them on." And then they do.
It
they
really
do
makes
get
you
them
realize
something.
How much pull fucking Bricks and Minifigs has with the police department.
Yeah, apparently they're a really big company, which I didn't know because I've never heard of them. But they're like worth like 400 million or something net worth.
Yeah,
something like that. They're like a really big company.
There's money in Legos, dude. It's ridiculous.
I would have never guessed. To me, they're about as worthful as NFTs. So,
it's like the Pokemon situation.
Yeah, it's like the Pokemon.
Like, why does this?
It has value because people think it has value, right? NFT logic right there. So
yeah, kind of.
I mean, James, just plastic bricks.
It's not just plastic. It was never just plastic.
There's also a little bit of like metal in there or something.
Yeah, there's like
a
little iron,
some amount of iron. But then the police actually do arrest Ben.
Bit of cardboard.
From what I know, they arrested him on grounds of residential picketing and stalking.
Residential picketing.
Yes, I don't know if you know this, but residential picketing is like in Utah. It's like when you specifically target like a one house.
What a ye old fucking crime.
that's what he got on. That's what they got him on. And,
I understand.
From everything I've heard about it, that is the chart. Like he did actually do residential picketing. It's like one of those things like the police have to like find something to get you on it. Where it's like the police pull you over like, "Sir, how fast were you going?" I was like, "On 47." The speed limit is 45, right? It was like, "Shut up, dude." Residential picketing.
It's a real one of those technically you're not doing anything wrong by writing a penny farthing in this certain part of England, but it is against the laws and we'll have to get you.
Yeah. It's like, technically against the law, and they did break that law. So, yeah.
As absurd and dumb as the law is.
I think it's only like a misdemeanor or something. So, he got out on bail.
So ridiculous! What the fuck?
Yeah, but they did get his ass. They got Ben's ass right there.
Did you get him? Did you get Ben?
They did have. Yeah. He did have like a phone call with the police that was exactly like that.
Phone call, dude. Exactly.
The phone call.
Did you get him? Did you get Reckless Ben?
Did you get him? Did you get him? It's like, yeah, we got his whole group, and Reckless Ben's there too. Reckless Ben's there too. It's like, yeah, Ben was there too. Sweet. Oh, sweet nectar.
Fucking what losers, dude. Sweet.
I think you would absolutely. I don't know if you've seen the body cam footage of the police talking to
I
Joshua
have.
Johnson there
I
when
have.
when
It's
Ben was
so
in the
fucking
car,
good.
because Joshua Johnson, he just like he has his grippers out the whole time. So I was thinking in my head like, man, James would hate this guy because he'd be like, why don't you put on some shoes or something?
I mean, yeah, why wouldn't you?
He's standing
It's such a it's
outside. He's
so
standing outside on his like his lawn with just no shoes on, no shoes, no
I just
socks.
put some fucking like flip-flops on something.
Nah, he's going all natural,
Get some get some socks on or something. No, you just
going all natural.
what are we in a
So
Quentin Tarantino movie? Quentin Tarantino directs bricks and minifigures.
yeah, and then after this, it was when Ben and his friend group got swatted. So what
Right.
happened
Oh,
was,
fucking Christ.
actually, maybe I should talk about the other time they got stopped by the police. So I can't remember if this was before he goes to serve papers or after, but the police got an anonymous tip that Ben
Mhm.
Ben and his
Anonymous.
friend who was driving the car has meth. They have meth in the car. So the police stop Ben and his friend, pull them over, and they do like a 3 hour search on their car for drugs. And kudos to Ben and his friend. They don't do drugs apparently. So they so the police are searching. They find nothing because they didn't do anything. And like they do like all of these like field drug tests, like field sobriety tests and stuff, and they pass all of them. Which I think I don't know if I heard this advice right, but like you probably shouldn't. You can like deny to do like a test or something. The tests.
Yeah, you
Uh,
don't have to do a field sobriety test. And also,
yeah,
I'd recommend not doing them because they don't always calibrate their systems, and the field ones are never as accurate as a station one.
yeah,
Never
and
take a
like
field one if you really want to prove your innocence, because those things do misread all the time.
yeah, and like there's like the test where we have to walk on like a line, pretend you're walking on a
Hmm.
line, and then turn around. And like if you're just uncoordinated, if you're just a chud, you could just mess it up anyway. So
Yeah, it's not the most effective,
yeah,
test.
yeah. So I think from what I heard, you can just say no. I'm not going to do the test. So probably should just do that. Anyway, though, but they do all of them and then they pass all of them. And I guess that wasn't enough for the police because they got to find something. So they bring in like a K9 unit guy and that has the dog like sniffing all over the car and stuff. Um, and of course they find nothing. So like they get stopped for like so long too. It's like 4 hours of just standing there by the side while the police are like they say like the most cliche lines too. Do
It's
they must watch like anime or like they read manga or something because they literally go
it's
like
so fucking like Reddit, like fucking like,
yeah, it's the Chudinator dialogue. So like they're talking to Ben. They're like trying to. I think they admitted they redacted it from the body cam, but when it got leaked, it shows what they were saying. And one of the police officers admitted that they were just gonna scare them a little and then let them go. So the police officer comes out and he's like, "You're walking a tight line here." I think that's what he literally says. You're walking a tight line here. We do things differently here. Okay, you're on thin ice,
these
buddy. That's
these
what
motherfuckers know there's gonna be a movie adaptation.
I think they know that this is gonna like come out on like go viral or something. But they
They're
say like the
Dude,
movie
they're
lines.
hoping that this is gonna get like reposted on one of those
Yeah,
cop YouTube channels, and they're like, "This is gonna be the Chad Cop moment."
yeah.
You're
The
walking a thin line here, buddy.
Chud cop comes out of his car, vine boom. Reckless Ben goes, he's right behind me, isn't he? Turns around. Chud cop goes, you're walking a thin line here, buddy. We
You
do
just
things
stepped
differently
into a
here.
world you don't even understand.
And then I love Ben's and his friend's responses to this, where it's like, you're walking a thin line here. And then he just goes, okay. He just hits it with the, okay. Okay. So that, yeah, they let them go after that. But then they get swatted. And man, this was pretty crazy. So on Ben's side, they get raided by the police, and the police have like assault rifles and stuff. They actually
Yeah,
have like
full
full
SWAT.
assault rifles, like fully geared up, locked and
Hmm.
loaded, and they bust in on Ben's
Every
Airbnb.
every streamer's worst nightmare of when they get swatted, how it'll roll
But
out,
I
you
know for
know?
sure Reckless Ben was like, yes, I love this because
I
he was
just
ready
hit the
for it.
jackpot.
I just hit the jackpot. Hey,
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 hey.
hey, hey.
So the police bust in. His friend has like a GoPro that's recording already on the desk. Like he immediately starts recording once the police come in. And then Ben pulls out his phone, starts recording, gets his like arm yanked back by the police. They book all everyone who was in that house, all of Ben's friends and Ben himself. They take him to the station and everything. Apparently they did get like a warrant for this. Like I don't know exactly what warrant it's called. Is it a search warrant? Anyway, they get a warrant from like a judge, something, and like the reason was that I think they said that the Airbnb host overheard Ben and his friends talking about stolen Legos. So so then they got a warrant to search the house for stolen Legos. I think that was what the warrant was
That's
for.
so fucking
Sorry,
dumb.
stolen
That's
property, specifically
um,
Legos. That's what it was said.
imagine imagine being a judge and reading that's what somebody's been
I
arrested
don't
for,
think the
finding
judge actually
stolen
read it.
Legos.
From what I heard from the lawyer I was watching them react to it, they're like, yeah, the judge kind of just signs anything that the police brings to them. They don't really look at it. Like, oh, it's a warrant signed. Maybe they should have read it though in this situation because it's kind of malarkey. Um, but yeah, they searched that. I mean, I wish the police took anything as seriously as they took stolen Legos.
Right. Like this is what we're
Because
doing.
there's
This is what
no
we're spending our
way
time on,
there's no way
man.
that that police department takes like stalking charges, harassment charges, everything that Josh was saying, to get to book these guys on. There's no way they take those like cases seriously when it's anybody else. It's 100% because it's good old Josh asking. You know, Josh, our good old buddy. And they had a leading theory on it. Or sorry, Brian was the one who has the leading theory on why the cops were like all in on this.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me about this theory.
So the theory is that Joshua Johnson and like his co-owner, who he was the guy who was at the Oregon store that kicked out the previous owners and took it over like right then and there, Brandon Best, and like a lot of cops from this police department, they all went to like the same high school, and this high school was like a Mormon high school, and they're all like super active at the Mormon church, all of them, like Brandon Best, Joshua Johnson, and like
Did you see the message I sent you?
these specific, yeah, I saw the message you sent, and then it just hit me that it reminded me that yeah, all of these guys are like super
Okay.
Mormons. They're like
I
ultra
wasn't
Mormons.
sure if you'd seen it yet, and this was going to become very relevant.
No, this is relevant because that's the leading theory as to why the police are like helping Joshua Johnson out so hard.
Yeah,
Um,
it's an insanely corrupt police department over fucking Legos.
they're letting Joshua Johnson just give them back shots all day because they're all Mormons. So it's
Chase,
funny because I
you
forgot
gotta
that
remember
Ben,
the Lego economy in this city is crazy.
the economy goes wild. So
The Lego economy goes
you just
wild in
reminded
this
me that
city.
Reckless Ben, like he showed a video of Joshua Johnson, like one of his phone calls with Joshua Johnson, where he's like, I swear on God that I will get you these Legos back, and all you need to do is apologize and stuff. Like they do all this thing, and so Joshua Johnson, or he shows this video of Joshua Johnson like swearing on God to like a Mormon churchgoer, one of the Mormon churchgoers, a random one, and he's like, "Hey, can you go talk to Josh about this? Like, is he serious about like swearing on God, like renouncing everything?" I forgot what they called like hell in their because apparently Mormon. I thought Mormons were just like like ultra Christians or something, but apparently it's like some like branch.
I mean,
I don't
they're
know what it
it's the
is.
same. It's the same way that like Christianity and because they're all Abrahamic and whatnot. So
Mm,
it is all borderline the same stuff, just with slight differences.
yeah, so I guess yeah, Mormon's like a branch of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I didn't know
it's
what it was at first. I was just like, oh
it's an
yeah, it's like
extremely
Christian,
dumb
right?
branch when you look into it. But yeah,
So apparently they have like this hell. I think they call it like the greater evil or something. It was like some like anime anime name for like a big bad.
they are not beating the
The one
allegation.
below all.
Fuck off.
So, I'm pretty
what
sure they call it the
what
greater evil.
what solo leveling ass fucking character is that?
The
The
greater
one
black, the
below
greater
all.
evil, something like that. So like this Mormon guy, he's like he goes up to Joshua Johnson's house and like rings on their doorbell and stuff, and gets the call. The cops called on him. And so the cops rock up on this random Mormon guy, and they're like questioning him. They're like, "What are you doing at his house, man?" And
What are you doing?
he's like, yeah. So I heard brother Joshua over here, an audio of him, like swearing on God and stuff, and like I just wanted to make sure like if he was like serious about that and stuff, I want to talk to him. And so he gets like kicked out. I don't remember if he gets trespassed. I think he does. And so the
That's so
cops like
funny that
shoot him
like
away.
it's reminding me of when Nick Fuentes' address got leaked, and like a
Mhm.
person just went there because her friend had told her like, "Hey, can you just go check uh like who lives at this address?" And the person went there not knowing who Nick Fuentes was. Nick Fuentes opened the door, pepper sprayed her immediately, stole her phone, and
Yeah,
kicked her down the steps of the stairs. And again, this person didn't know who he was or anything. She was
that's
just going there
beautiful.
and knocked on the phone on
Eh,
the door. And then the cops were like,
Honestly,
"Yeah, no, you don't get to just do that to random people." He's like, "I've been getting harassed." It's like
honestly,
this person just
that
walked
was
up
her
to your
friend's L,
door.
man. That was the friend's L.
I mean, it's definitely unfortunate that the friend didn't like give the heads up, but it is also like crazy that he just
James,
did this.
it is my property. I can assault people who are on my property.
You, sorry, if a mailman just walks up onto your property, you don't get to just fucking drop the dude and take it the mail.
Well, it's different if it's a mailman, James. That's his job. Okay. If a random person who I don't know walks
Yeah,
up my
you're right.
property,
If a solicitor comes to your door, you still
James,
don't get to just do this
if a
to them.
random person walks up on your doorstep, I know for sure you're full body tackling them, even if they're a woman. Because I know you don't gender discriminate unless you do. Or do you?
JD,
Do
you
you,
know I
James?
have that gate
Do
between
you?
the door and my house.
Do you?
I got a shotgun pressed against it, waiting for them to
Do
say
you
something.
discriminate? I know you
Yeah,
do.
dude.
Yeah.
Obviously, I discriminate.
Okay.
It's my month.
I just wanted to just make sure that's all cleared up.
By the way, folks, happy Pride.
No, guys. Like James, I'm tired of this like grandstanding you do where you're like, oh, happy Pride. You're just like these big corporations. You don't really
Mhm.
care, James. You don't
Yeah,
really care. Because the
I
second
never
the
talk
month's
about it
over,
outside of
it's
this.
done. It's over.
Yeah, the second the month's over, my
Yeah,
hoodie goes back to red.
exactly. It changes back colors to red.
You're so right. You're so right.
Anyway, I kind of want to talk about the other guy that that they've talked to because it just struck me as really funny. So Brandon
Yeah.
Best is the other guy, the co-owner of the new store. And so Joshua Johnson and Brandon Best, and Reckless Ben shows up at Brandon Best's house also. I don't remember if they live in the same city or the same like place. I think they do. Um, so he shows up at Brandon Best's house. He knocks on the door, and Brandon Best actually answers the door. Like he opens the door, and then he just like mad dogs Reckless Ben. The entire time, Reckless Ben is like talking to him. He knocks on the door, he opens it. Reckless Ben goes like, "Hey, so I was wondering if you be willing to give me my money. We won that court case against you, so now I'm here to get my money." And Brandon Best is just like poker face. He's doing the Kirk Angle stare at Reckless Ben and just not saying anything.
Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle, yeah.
Yeah, big Kirk in the 2026.
Kurt Angle, yeah. That's what I said.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
we're all saying Kurt Angle.
It's so like uncanny the way Brandon Best like just stares at him and doesn't say anything. They both walk out onto his like lawn, like his driveway area, and they just
Yeah.
stand there for like 10 minutes. This is
Just,
some like this is some like NPC like Skyrim behavior.
I was gonna say this is a fucking Skyrim embassy that you're
Yeah,
just standing
it's
across
like
from.
man, it's me who's trying to interact with a non-interactable NPC in an open world game.
You're
But they
playing
stand there
GTA
for
and
like
there's that
10
one NPC
minutes.
that just stands there.
Yeah, they stand there for like 10 minutes. Reco Ben is like just yapping at Brandon Best, being like, yeah, so you know, you could if you could say anything about the thing, like if you're not gonna talk, I'm gonna talk then. And it's the police show up because you know Brandon Best called the police and they were waiting for the police to show up. Um and then the police show up and they immediately trespass Ben again.
Fucking get
And
right.
man, there's like this like lady police officer that comes in and she's like, I don't know where they get this confidence from. Like they hear like Brandon Best's side of the story, I think, and they just immediately trust it, even though there's no evidence for either side really. And
Well, you
like
see, JD, he just has to say the magic words.
they don't
Bricks
give
and
the evidence to the police from either side, so it's like a hearsay thing. She said, he said, and they just immediately believe Brandon Best.
Well,
So
yeah,
like this,
he activates the police officers like
yeah,
sleeper agents
yeah, the
by
sleeper
showing them
agent
a
thing.
Lego minifigure, and then
Yeah,
their brain just turns on.
they show him the Lego Chewbacca vintage
Yeah,
minifig.
vintage Lego Cloud City Boba Fett with arm printing, and their brains
Mm-hmm.
just turn on.
The vintage minifig. And then the police officer walks over to Ben. And then Ben explains like why he's here. He's like, oh yeah, we want a court case with them in Oregon. We're here to get our Legos back. And then the police is like, he didn't steal anything. And like she just says it like so confidently. I wish I was confident in anything as she was in that statement. And then Reckless Ken goes, no, he did. He stole the Legos from you. We won a court case. And she goes, you know what? You're trespassed. it's
I mean, what do you do against
it's baffling.
that?
Well,
that's the
you
ultimate move.
you do what any
how do
normal
you
man
even
would
win?
do. Okay. You go into ChatGPT, you ask them
Okay,
how do I make a homemade explosive detonator bomb, and then you go on from there. No,
Ted
but
Kaczynski your way through it.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, all of these like interactions, like the police officer and the Brandon Best and Joshua Johnson, they're hilarious to watch, dude. It's really funny.
I haven't actually watched any of it. I've only seen bits and pieces because again, was not interested, and then I saw the not the security footage, but
Yeah.
the body cam of the cop going or of
No, I basically
Joshua
watched
going,
the whole thing, and it's wow, it's great.
I've got to sit down and watch this. It sounds so fun.
It sounds insane.
So stupid.
Yeah, it does. It's because
this is just so ridiculous.
there's a lot of parts of his video where where he goes like, okay, plan A didn't work, but luckily I've got plan B, and plan B is just like some like side plot filler episode that he made just for content and has nothing to do with like the other main story. But
that genuinely reminds me of this YouTuber who like makes videos about like GTA and stuff.
yeah.
And he'll be doing the thing in GTA and he's like, while I was doing this, I found a hitchhiker. And then there's like a 20-minute derail of the whole thing. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And at the end of it, he goes, this didn't have anything to do with it. But I just thought it was interesting. And I'm like, it was interesting. But why did we do this? what did we just do?
Yeah, so after they get swatted, I think they do get out. All of them. They like interrogate them.
Mm-hmm.
There's like they do the whole like detective, true crime YouTube thing where it's like, "Hi, my name is Detective blah blah blah," and then man, the lawyer I was watching, probably because he knows law like these interrogations a lot more than I do. He was like cringing the whole time because Ben is a yapper, right?
Yeah.
Ben is under arrest. And he knows that the cops are like actively trying to get him, to arrest him. That's the only thing they're there for. And he just yaps about everything. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, the lawyer is like staring at Ben, just yapping his whole story to the detective and going, "Just shut the fuck up, man."
I can't blame the lawyer because like it really is like, you know, some people's like for like.
Hey. He lives up to the
He
name, Reckless Ben. He's
yeah,
reckless.
he's being very reckless. Some people will just kind of get faced with a situation and be like,
Mhm.
well, if I just tell them my story, they'll believe me.
That's what he says.
No,
Actually, that's literally what Reckless Ben says.
no.
He said,
The
I'm innocent to this. There's nothing I did wrong, so I'm going to tell my whole story so that they know my side.
no.
And the real guys, it's time to grow up. All right,
Hey,
the real
shut the
world.
fuck up. Stop talking.
In the real world, you're not the main character, and it's best to assume that nobody's on your side. And especially in this case, they are against you. Actually, so
They are, in this case, as you've already found out and have known, they are not on your side.
guys, you wouldn't say you wouldn't blab about your weaknesses to your biggest op. So don't do it. So don't blab about your
POV.
weaknesses to the cops. Get it? Because it
Fuck
rhymed.
it.
That was a bar right there.
Why would you? The cops, they're my friends.
They're
No,
my friend.
you know they're
Uh,
not. You know who they're the friend of. Why
I
are you
I
doing
don't
this?
think the interrogator really like grabs a hold of anything of substance because he kind of just lets Ben talk about stuff, and he only
I
interrupts him
mean, that's perfect.
after he mentions about the GoFundMe that they made. And I think there's some kind of legal thing that they can get them on with this GoFundMe because the interrogator stops the interrogation at the GoFundMe, and then he goes to talk to all the other friends about this GoFundMe situation thing. So they might have gotten got on that. I think that's what the lawsuit that he's currently in is about, is involving at least the GoFundMe.
Yeah.
So unfortunate. By the way, Ben did make a GoFundMe, and it raised a ton of money. I think way more than the Lego set would ever be worth. So hopefully that gets to good old Brian and his family. I think his father. So Brian's father is the one who actually
Mhm.
collected the Lego set, and I think he's like battling some kind of like serious health thing. So that's why he's not there involved in any of this, and it's
Wasn't that
Brian
like
who's doing it.
also part of like why they sold it as well? Was to help like
Yeah,
pay for it?
yeah. I think they needed like the money to like pay like medical bills or something, so they decided to sell the Legos set. But anyway, yeah. Hopefully that money makes it to Brian and his family. But yeah,
It
after
truly is just
yeah,
amazing how much bricks and minifigures shot themselves in the foot.
dude, they're
They
this story, by
multi-million
the way,
dollar
this story went
company.
like super viral.
Yeah.
I think it was
It,
even covered on like major news networks.
it was
Like,
covered on our news. I
yeah.
remember I was literally talking to my dad. I'm like, yeah, it's this crazy like Lego situation. And then like 5 minutes later, it popped up on the TV, and I'm like, no fucking way.
Oh my god. Yeah, it was like super it went super mainstream. Um I think after the swatting incident, he got out on bail, and then there was like a warrant out for his arrest this time. And so he fled. He fled
No.
he fled the city, which by the way, the lawyer I was talking to was like, oh my god, that was
Yeah,
a horrendous
literally.
decision.
Yes,
Because I think it's like a felony or something
never.
to actually
It
flee
is.
from an arrest warrant. There was no warrant out for his arrest, so he fled to Mexico.
No.
Yeah,
No, he did not. Oh my god.
and it was in his video. It's in his YouTube video where
It's in the
he's
YouTube
bragging
video.
about fleeing to Mexico, and where he's like, yeah, and you know where the police don't have jurisdiction? Mexico, and that's where I am right
Right. But
now.
the Mexican police do, and they can't cooperate with the
I
American
was about to
police if they
say,
do treat this is a felony.
like, I'm pretty sure the U.S. does
You
have
can be
jurisdiction there.
extradited. You can be extradited out, dude. What the
Yeah,
fuck are
I was
you
about to say, like,
doing?
don't they get criminals all the time that flee to Mexico now? So,
It's normally they do like major crime stuff, but I'm like, they
yeah,
could just have the local police do this shit and then just extradite and fly you out.
yeah, just give them like
Like,
give the local police a call and be like, yeah, there's this dude who's fleeing.
this is the movie Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks, but it's about fucking like Legos instead of like mail
It's
fraud
Legos.
and shit.
Yeah,
Instead of check fraud and like flying around on planes legally.
yeah,
Like,
and then Reckless Ben has like all this like drone footage of like the drone footage overlaying like this Mexican city that he's in.
oh,
And he's on
Ben.
these rooftops as he's doing his like outro to the video.
He's like, I'm living at this
It's so
building here.
funny. Yeah, he's like walking in the middle of the street, and like man, it's just so it's so
I'm
funny.
I'm hoping he doesn't actually have a warrant out for his arrest and that he was just, playing that up for the video.
Yeah, I
Because
hope he
if
was
he does
lying
and he
about
did all
that.
this, oh my God.
I hope that
Ben,
that was just a bit. But if it
I
wasn't a
yeah.
bit, that was like actually that's an actual felony. So
It wasn't bit. Hey, props.
it was a bit. Hey, hey.
Hey.
Yeah, and I think that's where the stories stop for now. The GoFundMe's raise money. Bricks and
Holy
Minifigs
shit.
has like come out and made a bunch of statements about the thing. Obviously, I think what they did is like they admitted to like having the Lego set at some point, but they said like it's worth way less than it actually was. Like there's like 5K, 5 to 7K worth of Lego sets in the store.
No, the fuck it wasn't.
I think they backtracked that. They said like
Yeah.
then they said like 80K, and then they're like, oh, 97K, and then I don't know. They throw out a bunch of figures. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. The CEO came out and did some interviews and stuff, and I think they placed all the blame on the previous owners. Um, and what the previous owners they had like some plans to move out of the country before they even signed the consignment deal, I think. So they like signed the deal. They were planning on moving out. They get kicked out of the store, and then they moved to a different country after that. So Breaks and Minifigs blames them, and then they sued Ben. It was some I don't remember exactly what kind of lawsuit it was. Like I think it was like a Rico lawsuit, Repo Rico,
That sounds
something like
about right, the Rico.
something like that. And from what I heard, I heard it was serious, but I don't actually know what it is, what he's actually being sued for. So yeah, hopefully he lawyers up. I did see some news that he was planning on attending court, or he was planning on representing himself in court. Reckless Ben. Um, I don't know if that's a good idea. I've also heard that he did that when he said that he was going to represent himself in court, he then got advice that he should get a lawyer instead, and then he got a lawyer. So something like that. That's where we're at right now, I think, with the case. Bricks and Minifigs has, I think, taken a pretty big hit. I mean,
Yeah.
if like anybody is like internet pilled, or I guess even if you're kind of mainstream because it was on the news and stuff, you would know about like the Bricks and Minifigs like side. And man, I don't know if I would ever like if I was a Lego fan, I probably wouldn't shop there anymore. Just to avoid
I
all
mean,
the
I
controversy.
never had the inclination personally before all this to go there because I'd always heard like that they had like really high upmarking on their prices. And so I was like, oh, that's kind of shitty. I wasn't going to go there anyways, but now I got, a pretty valid reason.
Yeah,
And then all of this happened. And
yeah.
I was just like,
I mean, I knew it
holy
was pretty. I know
shit.
Breaks and Minifigs was really popular before this happened. It. I heard it was unfortunate because since it's a franchise thing, it's not like corporate is taking the hit by like, or in order to hit corporate, you got to hit these franchises because the franchise is corporate, but the franchise is also like owned by like these people who have nothing to do with like the with corporate or the situation itself. So suck to suck, buddy, is what I meant to say. James, you have anything you want to say before I wrap it up this video, or
Yeah, I'll make it very quick.
sure?
Just because it hasn't come out yet, but they did have the theater release. I did go see the Amazing Digital Circus
Oh,
finale in
honk,
theaters.
shoe, snore. My God.
uh, it was actually a pretty fun time. I will say, I think they could have just played the last episode because what they did is they played episode 8 and episode 9, so you'd
Yeah.
have like the context. And when that happened, I was like, this would probably be better if you hadn't already seen this because otherwise, this just felt so unnecessary
You
while
just
watching
sat
it.
through a rewatch.
Yeah, I sat through a rewatch. It's funny because like I just rewatched this show with my sister when she visited because we were watching it together,
Oh,
and
oh, you watch Goonslop with your sister? That's interesting.
Dad, don't ever say that. Don't
Because
ever.
from what I remember, the Major Digital Circus is just it's just you know You know how it is.
I hear you keep saying and it's just, but you're not
Yeah.
actually saying
Well, I
anything.
can't say it because it would get this video demonetized, James.
No, it's not. It's just got a weird section of the fan base that does that.
Do you know she's in Fortnite now? The main character for Amazing
I was
Circus.
gonna talk about that after. But I just want to say real quick because it hasn't released yet. I'm not gonna talk about anything that happens.
Sure.
I just thought it was fun. It was a neat little finale. I will say my only thing, it very clearly is the case that they wanted to make this two last episodes and made it one big final episode
Hmm.
because it's already weird that it's ending on an episode 9 of all things
Yeah.
instead of like an even number, but it's also because it feels like it is two episodes crammed together.
Yeah.
Uh, but I'll say, it was fun. It was a fun time. I am thankful. I've heard horror stories about how some of the theaters were. I am so thankful mine wasn't like that.
I
I
I
am,
really am excited for the Gen Z Alpha Gen like theater experience.
yeah.
We almost got a
There was.
taste of that when we watched the Backrooms. I don't know if you remember at the beginning, very
I'll tell you this,
beginning.
JD. I got that when I went to see this.
Yes.
There was a person who immediately started yelling.
Yeah, I was about to say like it was like we were on the precipice when we watched the Backrooms, and
The one kid.
the very first like scene popped up with the found footage, and the guy goes ah.
They tried to start something and nobody else jumped on, so they
Mm-mm.
just never did anything else.
Yeah, and they were quiet for the
um,
rest of the movie.
just silent. But I will say, they also announced a Fortnite collab. I think it's a little late. I think it's classic Fortnite kicking a dead horse.
Fortnite, remember that?
Technically,
Remember
again,
that game?
technically finale's not out. But I will say it is weird, the Fortnite collab, because it's like they took the character Jax, who is a tall person, so
Sure.
that's easy to adapt, and then they took Pomni, who is not tall, and instead of doing the thing that they've constantly done of putting the characters in mech suits when they're not tall, they
Yeah.
stretched out her limbs, and it's horrifying because
Well,
it's
it's
not
because
even like just
they're all
her.
just cartoon characters, James. And all their limbs
Well,
are
yeah,
like cartoon
they're
stretchy, you know.
cartoon characters with like tube sort of limbs, and then in Fortnite, they don't do it to Jax, but they do it to Pomni. They give her human like
They
shaped
just like
limbs and
yeah, they
stuff.
just like made like the default model and did the colored it Palmier's like
Yeah, like it's literally that meme of the guy who puts waves on all the Fortnite character models.
yeah,
He gives them all like waves, and he messes with the models. It's like if that guy just took like any random female character's like arms and legs and just
yeah.
stuck them on Pomni. It's so weird looking.
They make the arms like white and then the legs white and slap them on Pomni. Boom.
And then it's again, and they also have characters that they could have put in, but they so clearly were like, well, Jackson Pomni are the popular ones.
What
And
other
even in the
characters are
trailer,
there?
in the trailer, they have the joke that the one character who's excited about this and is very clearly eager is the one who gets left out. Because in the trailer, she's like, well, Kane, we have the Fortnite collab we're doing. Kane's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, well, Jonesy's been here for a week, and it just cuts over with all the cartoon characters, and then the fucking Jonesy from Fortnite guy just standing there goes, what's up?
Are they
And
adding back
it
in like the Thunderhammer or whatever?
yeah, like it's literally that dude. Like, are they adding back in the Thunderhammer? Oh, can I come? No, you cannot. Oh.
No, you cannot.
And then he
I'm
takes
kind of
the other
short.
character
How am I
making
supposed
the hammer.
to?
It's so good.
How do you explain that Pomni is taller in the Fortnite in Fortnite? Boom.
Because they don't even
Hey,
have
you
her
know what?
limbs stretched out.
I think we should all be happy and supportive that Pomni decided to lock in at the gym, protein max, in order to be in Fortnite. I mean,
I've
more
also
power to
seen
her.
people immediately start abusing the fact that these characters are in Fortnite and using. I didn't even know half
Yeah.
these emotes existed.
The only thing I know is that they have an emote for like literally everything. Like any
Dude,
situation any memeable situation you want to be in, there's an emote for that.
saw like 50 retweets of a person who tweeted out Pomni doing the I have to go to the bathroom emote, and every tweet was going, why does this exist? Who uses this?
Clearly they aren't old school Fortniters. I'll tell you what.
What the fuck?
me when Fortnite,
Oh my god.
me when Pomni, Kamehameha's buff Peter at
Dude,
Twisted Towers.
dude, why didn't they drop the Pomni skin during the Fortnite event where you could have like attacked with a giant fucking energy sword and shit? Done a big fucking Dragon Ball Trunks-esque sort of attack. I really want to see somebody use Jax and put him on the little warthog emote, so you can do like the whole fucking like specifically fucking whatever his name, Flight Reacts driving the car gif. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but
It's
that's all
yeah.
I can
Actually,
just
it's even funnier because it's still to this day, I still have no idea what Amazing Digital Circus is. Don't tell me, James. Don't ruin the fun
yeah,
for me.
that's fine. You don't need to know.
Yeah.
It's
I still have no idea what it's about, what the plot is, or even most of the characters. I know the main clown girl is named Pomni. I think
the Rabbit's
Jax is the
Jax.
purple guy. He's the purple man, William Afton.
Yeah.
And then that's
Uh
it.
I'll say this. You know what? This is a bit of spoilers, so spoiler warning. We do
Okay.
see what they look like as humans, and it was the funniest thing when they revealed what Jax looked like.
Oh yeah.
Because everybody was like trying to make certain that they're like, actually, people were either like, actually, Jax is like a really hot kind of like fucking emo Chad,
He's
and
a
everybody
chud.
else is like, no, yeah, and everybody else is like, no, he's a fat chud, and then in the movie they're just like, no, he's just kind of like a lanky, skinny, homeless dude, and it's the funniest reveal because I
Why
just
are
remember
you
going,
homeless? You get a job.
oh.
It's just Patrick Bateman talking to real life Jax. You're disgusting.
Like somebody from like 2000.
You right, James? You good?
Yeah, I think my internet cut out for a second, but I was just saying, Jax literally looks like a guy from 2009. It's so hilarious.
Okay. Well, James, think that'll be it for this episode. By the way, sorry you missed
Alrighty.
last episode. I was busy, I guess. It's completely
What? No, we didn't miss the last episode.
flew
Don't
over my
fucking
mind.
tell them.
It's fine, James. You know what?
Jay, I'm gonna be
Sometimes
honest.
there's not a
I
lot of people who
fully,
are sad that the weekly podcast doesn't come out. Okay. I know
I was
my
sad.
my average stream viewer, I like food. He told me that he doesn't even watch the normal podcast, so
Well, son of a bitch. Why is he even here?
he only watches the food review ones, the crapshoot specials.
Okay.
It
Well, we
makes
haven't
sense
done one
because
of
his
those
name
in
is
a
I like
minute.
food, right? So
Yeah, that's the Whopper guy, if I remember correctly.
yeah, you know him. He's
Yeah,
the
you
Fortnite
know.
Pomni enjoyer. So
Okay.
Fortniter 29, I still remember him. There's a shout out to him.
Yeah, man. One day you'll come back to us.
Yeah, but I think that's gonna be it. If you guys enjoyed, you should like, subscribe, hit that bell notification icon to get notified on when these episodes drop, and they drop every Sunday. So I hope you had an awesome day, and if not, I hope it gets better. James, bring us out.
So the same company that made Amazing Digital Circus, Glitch, they made another show called